A small Louisiana town braces for the worst as storm warnings blare on radios and phones. Families scramble to evacuate, carrying their belongings through torrential rain. A community shelter fills up quickly with frightened residents. Dwayne Johnson, visiting the town for a charity event, is among them, wearing a black rain jacket and helping the elderly and children settle in. Outside, the storm intensifies, trees sway violently, and streets begin to flood. Inside the shelter, worried whispers fill the air, interrupted by a desperate man bursting through the doors, soaked to the bone, shouting about his daughter trapped in their house near a rising creek. Dwayne steps forward through the crowd, his calm presence cutting through the panic. He listens intently as the man explains the situation, his voice trembling. "The water rose too fast. I couldn't reach her," the man sobs. Dwayne places a steady hand on his shoulder and reassures him. "We'll get her back. Just tell me where." He grabs a flashlight, a rope, and a life jacket from a nearby emergency kit. Shelter workers try to dissuade him, but Dwayne insists, "This isn't a decision. It's the right thing to do." Dwayne navigates through flooded streets under a pitch-black sky, the rain relentless. His flashlight reveals overturned trash bins, submerged vehicles, and floating debris. The rushing water pulls at his legs as he trudges forward, gripping a rope tied around his waist for safety. The sound of the storm is deafening. Thunder rolls, and the wind howls like a freight train. He finally spots the house in the distance, its first floor submerged, and the water creeping higher. The house stands precariously near the edge of a swollen creek, its wooden frame groaning under the pressure of the water. Dwayne climbs the flooded porch, water up to his waist, and peers through a second-story window. Inside, a faint light flickers from a lantern. He shouts, "Emily, are you there?" A faint, trembling voice answers, "I'm here." Encouraged, he uses his strength to force open the swollen door and make his way upstairs, careful with every step as the structure creaks ominously. On the second floor, Dwayne finds Emily, a 7-year-old girl, huddled under a blanket in the corner of her bedroom. She clutches a stuffed bunny and looks up with wide, tear-streaked eyes. "I'm here to help," Dwayne says gently, kneeling to her level. He wraps her in his jacket and secures her with the rope tied around his waist. "Hold on to me tight, okay?" he says, his voice calm but firm. Emily nods and buries her face in his shoulder as he prepares to descend. Carrying Emily, Dwayne retraces his steps through the flooded house. The water level has risen even higher, and the current is stronger. At one point, a piece of floating debris crashes into his leg, nearly toppling him. "It's okay. We've got this," he reassures Emily as she clings to him. Outside, the storm shows no sign of relenting, but Dwayne presses on, wading through chest-deep water toward the shelter's distant lights. Dwayne finally reaches the shelter, exhausted but triumphant. The crowd parts as he steps inside, soaked and shivering but still carrying Emily safely in his arms. Her father rushes forward, tears streaming down his face as he embraces his daughter. "I don't know how to thank you," the man says, his voice breaking. Dwayne waves it off with a humble smile. "Just take care of her." "That's thanks enough." The shelter erupts in applause as the tension breaks, a moment of collective relief and gratitude filling the air. The next morning, the storm has passed, and the town begins its recovery. In the shelter, Emily approaches Dwayne with a hand-drawn picture of herself and a giant man she calls her hero. Dwayne smiles, touched, and kneels to accept the drawing. "You're the real hero for being so brave," he tells her. As he prepares to leave, Emily's father stops him and shakes his hand firmly. "You've done more for us than I can ever repay," he says. Dwayne replies with a grin, "Just pay it forward." The sun breaks through the clouds as Dwayne walks away, the drawing in his hand, and the promise of a brighter future for the small town glimmers in the air.